The St. Louis Cardinals hit an all-time low this season, losing 2 out of 3 to the Chicago White Sox. We unleashed the fury today on Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafford, and I'm a national radio sports anchor, born and raised in the Loop, and a lifetime Cardinals fan, and I'm your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. You can follow me on Twitter, X, at JD Sports Radio, and the podcast at LO_Cardinals. Want to thank those of you who make Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and hit that notification button so you know when the new episodes are posted. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving the best fans in baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. Game off for just a moment. We got to talk more about Monopoly Go, this fast-paced game that lets you team up with friends for tournaments to unlock awesome prizes like unique stickers for trading, cool playing pieces, and hilarious emojis for taunting your friends. So download Monopoly Go, now free on Google Play or the App Store. Game on. All right, well, that didn't quite go the way we thought it was going to this weekend at Busch Stadium, did it? This was supposed to be a chance for the Cardinals to get things right again. This was supposed to be the weekend that the turnaround, this magical turnaround that the Cardinals needed, was going to happen. Yeah, the lowly White Sox in town, just 6 wins, 6 little wins coming into town, and very little momentum in their corner. It's not like they just won 3 or 4 or something. No, they just lost 3 in a row. So it's not like they were feeling all that great. Cardinals had just dropped a disappointing series to the Detroit Tigers, but all was at loss. We weren't freaking out. Cardinals had won 2 series prior to that. This was going to be the series where everything got straightened out. We finally get this offense going in the right direction. And to fail as miserably as they did, to look as awful at the plate as they did for most of the series, it's gotten to a point where maybe we're all just wrong and they're actually not a very good team. Like, maybe these hitters aren't that good. Now, I've had plenty of people who have been blowing me up about this, saying we knew they weren't going to be any good. The hitting's always going to be bad. We knew that they were going to struggle. Good for you if that's what you thought. Most people, including myself, didn't think the offense was going to be a problem this year. Look at these guys. People will say, for the veterans at least, that when you look at the back of the baseball cards, you hear that phrase all the time, that by the end of the year, they're going to have the stats that they normally have, right? Just got to get them going. We just got to get them going. Great. When is this going to happen? We are now in May, and nothing looks like it's going to get any better. Like, point it out to me. Show me where it looks like things are going to turn around. And with all due respect to Brad Keller, Eric Fetty, Garrett Crochet in the White Sox bullpen, the Cardinals were supposed to beat these guys. They were supposed to be able to hit these guys. Almost everyone does. And yet here we are again on another Monday after another disappointing weekend, trying to figure out what the hell is going on here. I don't have the answers. I wish I did. If I did, I would be passing them along to the players and the coaches and let them know, by the way, here's how you fix everything. You're welcome. I would be doing that. I don't have any answers for you. I mean, how does a lineup with the names that they got in there, Arenado, Goldschmidt, Contreras, Donovan, you get Dylan Carlson back, but let's not be too hard on him right now after one game. Lars Nootbaar looks terrible. Is Lars Nootbaar the most overrated player ever? Like, everybody loves him. Great guy. Is he really that good? Why do we think he's so good? Why did everybody think he was supposed to be so great? I was talking about this with some guys at the bar last night. We went out for Cinco de Mayo. And remember that when he first came up, everyone was like, oh, the analytics say that he's going to be this really good hitter, man. He's awesome. Where? When? It has never happened. And don't give me, the World Baseball Classic and hitting leadoff for Team Japan. So he had a good week or two. I've never seen it at the major league level when Lars Nootbaar has been that great of a player. He's just average. There's nothing special about him. I'm frustrated, and I know everybody else is too, But how does a lineup that's got all these dudes in it with the resumes they have continue to fail as much as they do at hitting a baseball? I don't know. You hear the comments from players and coaches that it's not a lack of effort. It's not that they aren't trying hard. It's not that they're not watching video or not looking at scouting reports or not taking extra batting practice. You hear about all of these things that they're doing, and you hear about them over and over and over and over. Sooner or later, if you're a good baseball player, that stuff's supposed to click and you're supposed to be fine. But at the end of the day, the results just continue to not be there for this team. And I wonder, maybe they're just not that good. Maybe these guys are just not that good. I mean, outside of Wilson Contreras and Nolan Arenado this weekend, did anybody do anything? You know, we were doing that crossover with Todd from Locked On White Sox last week, and he was telling me about the changes that Eric Fetty had made and how Garrett Crochet, is how he's got this massive upside, which we knew. He was a nice prospect for the White Sox. We knew he had moments where you're like, oh, he can dominate. And he started saying that deep inside. I was like, uh-oh, the Cardinals could lose this series. I didn't want to say that because it's the White Sox, for God's sakes. Even if they are throwing two of their best starting pitchers that they have, they've still been the worst team in baseball. And with the Cardinals coming home, I figured they'd be able to at least take 2 of 3. You had your ace on the mound in game 1, and Sonny Gray does what Sonny Gray's been doing since he's put on a Cardinals uniform, and that's dominating his opponent. 7 innings of shutout ball, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts. He was awesome. Meanwhile, offensively, the Cardinals, they strike early in that game with 2 runs in the first, thanks to Nolan Arenado. And they were off and running, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, all right, here we go. This is what we needed. It's going to be a huge confidence boost for this team. They're all going to start swinging it, right? They'll be able to break out of this funk, whatever the hell is going on with them. This will be it, right? But that doesn't happen at all. And that's when I started getting worried, because after the first inning, they don't score again until the 5th. And although they win the game 3-0, which is great and all, you like wins, but the offense was shut down by the White Sox. Outside of Nato, Wilson Contreras, and then Michael Ciani got a hit in that first game. That was it. Nobody else got a hit. And this is against Brad Keller and Jared Schuster. No offense to them. I'm sorry. I'm sure they're great dudes. But come on. You're the St. Louis Cardinals. You're supposed to be lighting people like this up. Then in game 2, you get the one huge inning where they put up 5 runs, which included the 3-run jack from Nolan Arenado. But with nothing else the rest of the way. They got nothing the rest of the way again. And the way the game ended was obviously vomit-worthy. Extra innings, massive rainstorms coming in. Cardinals had the bases loaded, nobody out, and strike out 3 straight times? You got to be kidding me. I want to talk about the end of that game because I got to get into some CB Bucknor stuff. We got to chat about that and the pain that was games 2 and 3. We'll get into it next on Locked On Cardinals. I got more to yell about. Are you struggling to close deals? B2B selling is tougher than ever, and that's why I want to tell you about LinkedIn Sales Navigator. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a sales intelligence platform that helps professionals effectively prospect and engage high-value customers. It drives higher revenue. It increases sales performance. It's good. Sales Navigator helps you target the right buyers, surface key signals such as job changes or which accounts you should prioritize, and then shows you hidden allies so you can find those buyers that are most likely to convert. It's fueled by LinkedIn's 1 billion member platform. Sales Navigator will give you the most up-to-date first-party data, enabling you to unlock conversations with the people that matter. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/lockedon. That's linkedin.com/lockedon for the 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/lockedon and get started. All right, time out. Let's talk a little bit more about Monopoly Go, because I'm not going to sit back here and yell and scream about the Cardinals and just be totally negative about everything without throwing a little bit of positivity in there. And that's where Monopoly Go comes, because Monopoly Go is a fun game. Not going to let you down. Not going to let you down like the Cardinals offense. No, it's on you. In Monopoly Go, well, it's also on your friends. Monopoly Go, you can team up with your friends. I don't know if you've heard me say this before, but you can. You can team up with friends and be a part of those time tournaments where you can work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win together, and the more awesome prizes you can unlock. And there's a lot of things you can grab. You got unique stickers that you can trade with friends to complete albums for big prizes, cool new playing pieces to travel the boards with, hilarious emojis if you want to taunt your friends. That's cool too. Plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. A ton included in their unique mini games like digging for treasure or a robot pachinko machine. And there's always new timed events that help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or rent frenzies. If you enjoyed the original Monopoly board game, which haven't we all? We've all been there. We all loved it. Well, this is something that takes it to the next level. There's always something fun to discover in Monopoly Go. So get off the bench and go download it now for free on Google Play or the App Store. Game on. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day and have to turn down the volume because of the shouting? Then make that switch to Locked On Sports Today. It's a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all of the screaming. It's got the can't-miss analysis, opinions, it's got news, and it's 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Remember, you can catch every pitch of the Cardinals' hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and then search the word Cardinals. And again, thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Leave your angry comments in the comment section on YouTube. Hit me up on Twitter X. I want to hear them. Feel free to unleash whatever anger you have that's going on after an abysmal weekend against the Chicago White Sox. I still can't get over that. That's what they did. They lost 2 of 3 to the White Sox. I mean, what? And yes, the CB Bucknor call was horrendous. All right, let's get into this real quick. You had the game 2. You have the one inning where they just blow up and then they do diddly poo the rest of the way, right? And then we get into the extra innings and you get the rain and it's just a mess. And then we have to delay it. At the time, what was it? Bases loaded, 2 out already. 2 dudes had already struck out. And here we go. We've got Ivan Herrera up at the plate and CB Bucknor makes this god-awful call at the end of the game, brings Ivan Herrera up, is ready to go home. I mean, CB Bucknor is a terrible umpire. Let's just be honest, okay? He's been terrible. It's not just against the Cardinals or the White Sox. It's all the time. Like, go look at the accuracy ratings. Go look at the voting where they do about, go Google that. Go, worst umpires at MLB baseball. They did a voting on it. And CB Bucknor is always right up there as the worst. Like, he's just not good. I mean, the guy, okay, so the rain delay happens, and he missed. Okay, there was only 4 pitches thrown after the rain delay when they came back, and he missed 2 of them. 2 of the 4, he screwed up. Half of them. I still don't understand how we have umpires like him still allowed to umpire at the major league level. I don't understand it. Why can't they be held accountable for their mistakes like everyone else? If their level, like, why isn't it a system where if their level of umpiring is not up to major league standards, which it should be, this is the top in baseball. And if they fall below a certain level with their accuracy, their consistencies, because they have these umpire scorecards, so they know exactly how good and bad these guys are. If it drops below what is deemed major league worthy, then send their butts down to AAA until they can get their act together, until they become better umpires again, just like we do it with young players. You send them down. That should be something that happens. Like every week, it's CB Bucknor or Angel Hernandez or Hunter Windelstead or Ron Culpa. It's the same guys over and over and over and over who are just terrible. They're terrible. Like, have you ever heard of Alan Porter or Ben May or David Arrieta? No? You know why? Because they are good major league umpires. They do their jobs the right way, and they don't cause controversies, while the other guys continue to make baseball games into circus acts with their poor decision-making and their egos. It's brutal. And I know it's a union thing with the umpires. That's why people aren't fired. I know that. But when they're affecting the outcomes of games day in and day out by being terrible umpires, like everybody's going to miss calls. Everybody's going to miss plays. But this certain grouping is just the pond scum of umpires. Now, I don't know how these guys are as people. I'm not attacking them as people. I'm just saying, as far as their jobs go, they're brutal at it. They're awful. And I don't know how they are still employed. Like how they haven't been like, all right, for 2 weeks, you're going to go back to umpiring school for a little bit and figure this out because a strike zone doesn't move. It's what it is. It's not 6 inches off the plate or 6 inches high or below. It is what it is. It doesn't move. And if you can't figure out how to call the strikes that are supposed to be in that little box, then get the hell out of here. That's what it should be. I don't know how you get it done, but something's got to be done. But let me also be clear about this. CB Bucknor did not lose that game for the Cardinals, okay? He sucks as an umpire, but he didn't lose that game for the Cardinals. It's not his fault they only got 5 hits. In all honesty, like I said, Herrera should have been rung up on that third pitch. That was a strike. If you go and look at the box, that was a strike. He called it a ball. And then he called the one that was way out of the zone a strike. But CB Bucknor didn't lose that game for the Cardinals. It just was the exclamation point to failure in that inning to score a run at all. Like, put it in play. Cardinals never should have let it get to that point where he could make, the outcome of this game decided by him. It should have never got to that. To not even put the ball in play in that situation is ridiculous. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. You should be embarrassed. And you can blame weather conditions because I know it was wild out there with the rain before the delay started and they brought him back. But guess what? Former Cardinal Jonathan Brebbia, he had to throw in that stuff too. He seemed fine. Got it done. Kept getting dry baseballs. He fought through the conditions. The excuses. It's just excuses over and over and over. And they're beginning to fall on a lot of deaf ears. I know a lot of fans have already been over it. They don't want to hear this crap anymore. I'm a guy that's usually pretty relaxed about stuff. Like, I'm like, all right, they'll get to it. But this weekend, man, you can't let that happen. You just can't. And I don't want to hear excuses anymore. I'm tired of sticking up for these guys and trying to stay positive for everybody when there's no reason I should be. Like, what? Show me something that you guys are doing that will lead us to believe you're going to get better at any moment soon. I haven't seen it yet. I thought we were going to see it this weekend. Like, if you're playing the Cardinals right now, would you even pitch to Contreras or Arenado when you know the other 7 dudes in the lineup are probably not going to get a hit? I wouldn't. And then in game 3, I mean, just nothing in that one. Garrett Crochet, who, again, very talented young pitcher, breezed right through them as if they didn't even have a heartbeat. We're going to get to some quotes from Oli and the players. I want to get to these next. That they're not going to make you feel all that much better about this team anyway. But at least you're getting responses from them of how they're dealing with the frustrations and what's going on. And you'll hear what they say next. We'll do that on Locked On Cardinals. Sorry, I'm flustered. When it comes to your financial future, you think you've done it all. You've saved, you've researched, you've invested all that you can. Now you need to take those investments to the next level by using what every financial great uses, and that's Yahoo Finance. For more than 25 years, Yahoo Finance has been the brand behind every great investor. Whether you're a seasoned investor or you're looking for that extra guidance, Yahoo Finance gives you all the tools and data that you need, and it's in one place. They are the number one finance destination, producing a holistic look at the financial news cycle, including breaking news, original editorial perspectives, analyst ratings, independent research, customizable charts, and so much more. Securely link your brokerage accounts for a unified view of your wealth, including 401k and other investments. A comprehensive perspective is what sets apart great investors, and it's how Yahoo Finance ensures that you have the insight to look at your wealth in its entirety. With a community of over 90 million users each month, their real strength is helping you on your way to financial success. And who doesn't want that? For comprehensive financial news and analysis, visit the brand behind every great investor, yahoofinance.com, the number one financial destination. That's yahoofinance.com, yahoofinance.com. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. It's also available on the Amazon Fire TV and the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today, here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day. Last night, used it when it came out after we went to the bars after the games, and I drowned my sorrows in some tequila and margaritas for Cinco de Mayo. Came home, flipped on the Locked On National Sports 24/7 streaming channel. I went straight to it. Had to fumble through the remote a little bit because I was like, okay, boom, there it was. Got on my YouTube and found it. And you can find Locked On Sports Today now available on the free Fire TV channels app, covering every league. They got you covered with all of it, local experts of Locked On plus national shows. So it's all there for you. So use it. It's good stuff. So what can the Cardinals do to try and get things right again? Where do we go from here, right? Because this wasn't supposed to happen. This wasn't supposed to be the problem this year. Bats. What do we do? Where do we get them? Who do we know that can hit? Because scoring runs wasn't supposed to be something this team struggled with. That was supposed to be the strong suit. They were trying to get back to be a better defensive team and be a better bullpen and be a better pitching staff overall. The hitting was supposed to be fine, and it hasn't been. It's been a huge disappointment. So what do we do? People are constantly sending me suggestions about, sending people up and down between Memphis and St. Louis. But who are you bringing up that's going to make a huge difference onto the team? And you got to remember, too, it's not like you can send Paul Goldschmidt down, guys that aren't hitting. You're not going to send these guys down. You're not going to send Lars Nootbaar back to Memphis. You're not going to do that. Brendan Donovan's not going down. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. I've seen people suggest making trades, like the Padres and Marlins just pulled off for Luis Ariz, which was a shocker. But who are you trading? Like, who on the Cardinals right now has value that you're like, I'm trading them to get offense back that's going to make a difference for this year? Like, who can you get? Who's even available? That's another thing that was shocking about that trade was that, who's even calling teams right now looking for trades? Because who knew Luis Ariz was available? Most teams haven't really punted on the season already. So, that was a surprising move. But as far as the Cardinals go, which guys on this team do you think actually have value that somebody else would be willing to give up good players in return for? There's not that many. And the ones that you would think about, they got no trade clauses. They're not going anywhere. So it's not going to happen. So just wipe that off your mind or your mind. It's not going to happen. I know you're saying anybody is better than who we got right now. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But a trade is it's not likely whatsoever. You know that. I know that. So let's move on. So the honest answer is the Cardinals are just stuck with who they have right now. This current group is just going to have to turn it around. They're just going to have to be better. That's all. That's what we're at. We don't have any choices here. It's very limited. Hopefully, when Jordan Walker gets his act together at AAA Memphis, he'll be better when he gets brought back up. But there's really not a lot of guys. What are you going to bring up? Thomas Ajacey to hit over Gorman, I guess? You know what I'm saying? There's just not a lot of places to move guys around. Now, here's what Oli said about this weekend. Kind of talking about the frustrations of it all. We've had months like this before where it doesn't look very good, and then we come out of it. We need to come out of it. A day like today, a series like this one, you've got to figure out a way to take this series. We didn't. We didn't even give ourselves opportunities today. When asked about what was the most frustrating thing about the weekend, Oli said it's that I think so many things are looking good as far as how we want to play the game, the style of the game, what the pitching is doing, what the bullpen is doing. Outside of Giovanni Gallegos, obviously. He didn't say that. I added that in there. But the offense, this is still Oli here. The offense is struggling. The offense is struggling, and that's an area that we honestly felt pretty good about coming into the season. Some guys are adjusting to their second, third year in the league, and it's been tough on them. There are no excuses, though. The offense is struggling at the moment. We've got to find a way out of it. And, people want coaches and managers, or they want people fired, and they've been calling for the heads of hitting coach Turner Ward, assistant hitting coach Brandon Allen, game planning coach Packy Elkins. They want all these guys gone. Get them out of here. They a new voice needs to be brought in to wake these guys up. And Oli spoke about that as well, saying, I like the voices we have, man. I can't speak higher of Turner, Allen, Elkins, and what they do in that department. No one's getting a whole lot of sleep right now, I'll tell you that. They're working at it. They're trying to make sure they're not missing anything. The communication with the players has been really good. It sucks. Bottom line, it just does. So we agree with Oli on all of that stuff. Again, firing your hitting coach and guys, like, it's still going to be the same cardinal ideas of how they want to go about hitting, though, right? Like, it's a system that they use. Like, they all buy into it, and that's how they teach them from the lower levels up until they get to the major leagues. Same stuff. So you fire those guys, you're going to bring in somebody that just says the same stuff, right? Because you're not going to bring in somebody who doesn't agree with what the Cardinals or how they want it done. Because when that happens, you get the Mike Schultz situation where they don't want him around anymore. So firing those guys, I don't even know what good that would do. Brendan Donovan spoke about the frustrations as well, saying this is a very results-oriented game, and when you feel good in the cage and your routine is good and you don't get the results, it can be very frustrating. I wish I had a different answer, but we just have to keep doing it. We have to find a way to compete, turn our brains off, and say, it's me in the box and that guy on the mound, and I'm going to find a way to win this. On what their approach is moving forward, he said, you show up tomorrow and be ready to go. That's all you can do, whether it's sports or life. When things aren't going your way, you show up and attack the day. There's no panic. When you get kicked in the face, you've got to show up, and that's what we're going to do. And I know that you got to, at least me, I respect these guys for not panicking because we're all freaking out. I'm freaking out. You're freaking out. We're all freaking out because we feel the same as we did last year, where this team and the season is slowly slipping away already. And to lose 2 of 3 to the White Sox, when you're expected to win at least 2 of 3, heck, you should have swept. That's the expectations going into a series against a team like that. And to lose 2 of 3 is just awful. And it makes you wonder, if you can't beat them, who can you beat? Who should you be beating if you can't beat the White Sox? They got the Mets in town now. Took 2 of 3 from them in Flushing, New York. 16 and 18 on the year right now are the Mets. They're in 4th place in the NL East. They just got swept by the Rays down in Tampa, so they're not feeling all that hot about themselves either, which is a good thing. Let's hope that their confidence is very low as well. Let's keep it down there. They got lefty Sean Manaea on the hill tonight against Cal Gibson. Jose Budo. I think it's Jose, right? I know it's Budo. And Miles Michaelis on Tuesday, and then former Cardinal Jose Quintana against Sonny Gray on Wednesday, which should be a pretty good pitching matchup there. Manaea, as far as what tonight's game is going to look like, he's been excellent this year. He does not go deep into games because he walks a lot of dudes. So he's only made it past the 5th inning once so far here in 2024. He just walks a ton of guys. So if I'm the Cardinals, enough of this swinging at the first strike you see stuff. I've never agreed with that. I don't understand. There's situations where you do want to jump on a first pitch when you've got stats that show you that this guy likes to get ahead in the count by throwing a first pitch fastball right away. That's his thing. I get it sometimes, but they're not hitting it. If they are trying to jump on one of these pitchers, like just trying to get a fastball over early in the count, they're not hitting it. So why are we swinging at it still? Like, I want you guys to work counts again. I miss the Brendan Donovan and Lars Nootbaar 7, 8, and 9 pitch at bats. That's what made you guys good hitters, not swinging at the first and second pitch that you see. We're tired of hearing the word be patient. At the plate, I do want you to be a little more patient, all right? Until you guys get hitting again, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see them jumping at the first and second pitches anymore. And Sean Manaea is a guy that you got to let get himself into trouble. Because outside of a really bad game against the Royals where they hit him pretty good, he's been very good outside of the walks. So let him get himself into trouble. Don't press anything. Don't go up there and just hacking away at things right away. Be patient at the plate. You want us to be patient? You be patient at the plate. But it could be another low hit total tonight for the Cardinals. So just be prepared, okay? Have the coffee ready to keep you awake so you don't doze off in the middle of their at-bats. All right, wrapping it up. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, do me a solid. Give me a follow on Twitter, X at @LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio. Please like and subscribe on YouTube to help our channel and our love for the St. Louis Cardinals grow. Appreciate each and every one of you being a part of today's show and shows in the past and hopefully shows in the future. You're the best fans in baseball for a reason. And I will see you next time, hopefully a little bit happier on Locked On Cardinals.